Hello my beautiful Librans, welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for your wonderful likes, shares and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about to pretend to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. I'm going to cleanse your space hourly, so please be mindful there's going to be 3 loud sounds. Let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Librans, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on money, love, career, but we never ask, how are you doing? So this reading is going to tap into that, what you're going through right now, how you're moving through this time period, and what's on the other side. I just want to let you know also I'm going to get all of your cards first before I connect to the energy, so let us begin. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Librans? What do they need to know? Can you please guide them for their highest good? What are they meant to be aware of at this time? Can you please show them the way? What lies on the other side of whatever it is that they're going through? Can you please guide them for their highest good? What are they meant to be aware of? Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Librans? Well, looking at the energy here, I feel that there's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders right now, and you've been going through a very intense period of change, but you're very focused on your direction, and you're connecting to your life's mission and purpose at this time. Now, I definitely see here that as you mature, there's a lot of empowerment. That Emperor card does indicate, and you've got it here in the outcome energy, which tends to represent that, of course, there'll always be responsibility, but I feel it's about enjoying the process. And I feel there is an energy here of some of you feeling a little bit fed up with the way things are, okay? The status quo, as it were, in some area of your life, but it could also be like the world at large. You've got the Hierophant there, so some of you are like really fed up with the way that the world is being governed at the moment. Some of you are trying to fathom the world that we live in. It's almost like things have turned upside down. Now, this reading is not really about that, but it's coming out very strongly. So some of you, especially because you're Librans, you have this sense of justice and what is right. And, you know, you are someone who, of course, harmony is very important to your energy. So I feel there is a little bit like inside you right now where you feel just something's off, but you may not be able to fully locate it. And I see that you're trying to focus more on your family, your soul tribe, and your true life's mission and purpose. But also I feel like you're super aware of like the biome that we live in terms of, you know, the interconnectedness in the world and what's going on in different parts of the world, and how as a whole it will affect things like, you know, economies, you know, circumstances, everything, you know, that's coming out very strongly, and it's reflected in your reading. But I'm going to try and take a step away from that energy, because there are some things that we cannot control in this lifetime, of course. We can all do our little bit in the patch of the world that we have been offered for a period of time. And I feel like you're doing everything you can in your circumstances to raise vibrations and try and be really positive. But looking at your energy, I feel there's a little bit of an inner battle on a personal level, okay? Now, I'm going to step away from the energy of the world at large and really like zoom in on you and your circumstances. I do see this inner battle, as I said. I feel there's an energy of almost like being on autopilot. But let's get to your cards. You know, the first card there, we have darkness, moon, okay? So a lot of you are actually looking at what drains your energy, who are energy vampires in your life right now. But also I feel there is a period of protectiveness about you. You're very protective over your family, of course, you know, the people you call your soul tribe, but also there is this sort of vulnerability about you at the moment. And I feel in that embracing your vulnerability, there lies the true strength. You're actually a very, very strong person, and you are allowing yourself to really dig a little bit deeper at this moment in time because you're going through a very intense personal transformation. And with the Four of Cups, it's almost like you're a little bit kind of disenchanted, as it were. You may feel that things used to be better, okay, because you have a Six of Cups there, which means you want to return to better times. What's really positive is it's in the outcome position. You will return to better times, and I feel this period is to get to know your inner self, to really look at your fears, to look at your, hopes, to look at, what makes you truly happy, because you have a Ten of Cups there, and of course, what really drains you, what makes you feel lethargic. Now, this could be people, could be scenarios, situations, the things that you digest, because you have cups there. So this is all that we see, all that we listen to, all that we hear, because there's a difference between listening and hearing, really hearing the subtext of what is going on around or what is being said. Also, you are noticing that what you put inside your body as well, how it affects your mood, how it affects your energy levels. So I feel really right now you're going very deeply inside to see what is healthy for you and what really is not. And I feel like you're trying to cut out, detoxify anything that you feel does not raise you up. And that includes your personal thoughts, okay? Now this card is number 7, so you're going to move through this period. Number 7 is the Chariot card energy, which means sometimes we hit a bump in the road, and I feel like you may have hit a bump in the road in some area of your life, and it's made you feel a little bit deflated in some way. It could also be the energy of the time period that we're living in. Of course, the last couple of years have been truly transformative for humanity at large. So I feel some of you've absorbed this energy because you are an empath, and it has triggered certain fears, of course. And I feel it's very important to recognize that we must not be governed by these fears, because those fears will change the vibrations of not just your energy, but the people around you, and of course your environment and the world at large. But this card, when you get this card, it's an energy of you sort of noticing cycles, okay? There's a season for everything. And sometimes, we're taught by society to push on through and, do all of the things, do your job, pay the bills, look after children, guide them to be the future, try and have some sort of social life, try and, better yourself in some way, go through a period of personal development. There's a lot on your plate right now, and I feel you're exhausted, and it's okay to give yourself permission to take a breath, to take a pause, whether that's a vacation, if you're lucky enough to be able to afford that right now, or whether it is simply, a moment of silence and stillness to really connect with your higher self. I feel like you've earned this because you are someone who is so busy, and I feel like you are just drained right now because of all that you have going on. Now, also, this is your protagonist energy, so it tends to mean that, you're not afraid to go to the depths of your being. I feel you may have been embracing your introversion right now. You can be an ambivert is what I'm getting here, but at this moment in time, there's a withdrawal from you where you feel like you're disconnected in some way, or you're looking at relationships or scenarios where you feel it's high time that you disconnect from these people or these situations. And for some of you, I feel like you're learning to let go, especially some of the friendships or relationships you're evolving away from at this moment in time, especially when you go through a very intense awakening. Relationships change, friendships, they evolve. And sometimes it's important to recognize that when your intentions are pure, you don't actually lose anyone, they lose you, okay? And I feel that when they change their vibrations, then of course you can come back together. But I also see here that you will be attracting soul tribe members, people who are on the same frequency as you, who have similar energies to you, shall we say. You will be drawn to those people because there is an energy of connecting to friendships. I also see a lot of you connecting in the future to people that you lost touch with a long time ago because they're on a very similar journey as you. These could be people from college or from your area, or people that you met along the way. There's an energy of you sort of seeing people in a different light. But this is a withdrawal of your energy right now because you're really protecting yourself as you go deeper and learn more about who you are. You know, you may be in a very explorative phase right now, and this energy indicates that although you may feel sometimes there is a gravitational pull, if you think about the moon, you know, it's like the ebb and flow of life, which of course you are Libran. You need to be in that ebb and flow of life, the balance of the scales. You know, it's important that there will be no light unless there is darkness. So I feel a lot of you may be going through a period of intense metamorphosis where you're really deeply aware of your shadow self and the lessons that lie within that. You're looking at, you know, habits that you have that you feel you've outgrown, or maybe you're breaking old habits in order to release yourself so you can make space for greater things and greater emotions in your life. But with that 10 of Cups there, you're a very family-oriented person. You care so deeply about everybody. And of course, you know, I feel that in order to really embrace the light, you must experience the opposing energies and basically tap into what you hope for and overcome fear. I've actually been given a song right now. And this song, I got to be honest with you, I was about to do a meditation for your reading. I always do like a little 10-minute kind of tap-in meditation. And this song, even before I got to that, it kept coming up really strongly. And it's a very famous song, and it's actually come up in a reading like maybe a couple of years ago. It's I Get Knocked Down, But I Get Up Again. You're Never Gonna Keep Me Down. That song, I think it's by, is it Thumbawamba? I can't really remember who sings it, but I'm being given this energy for you that, you know, you are someone who bounces back. But I feel you've gone through a very difficult period, and, you know, it's getting harder and harder for some of you, especially with the 4 of Cups there, to keep getting back up. But you will, and actually there is some major rewards coming your way. I see a lot of you maturing, empowering yourself, and the universe is going to send you a really wonderful surprise, something that you will not be disappointed with. And I feel here that some of you, there is an energy, and don't shoot the messenger when I say this, okay? During times where you feel bored and frustrated, that is when the darkness kind of comes, okay? Or that's when you tap into negative thoughts. So some of you may have been trying to like launch yourself and be busy, but there may be something here that really needs to be looked at and processed. And I feel by going through that, it's a cathartic experience in order to help you grow and move forward. And it's going to be so rewarding. There's actually a new portal opening up for you where I feel whatever you're manifesting, you're going to achieve it, because you have the 10 of Cups, which is a feeling of that happy ever after, the things that bring you joy. And I feel that's something that you are truly focused on right now. But it's almost like when things are going really well, sometimes you think that perhaps there's going to be a fly in the ointment, something's going to go wrong. So if you are given like a promotion, for example, you're like, okay, great, celebrate that, but now can I do it? Then you get a little bit nervous, a little bit of fear may come in, anxiety. But you're actually, you know, more powerful than you give yourself credit for. For example, if you came into some extra money, you may be like, okay, now what's the payoff? Because there's always a sense of balance with you. With every good thing that comes, you may feel that there's always something negative that could happen as a result for things to remain in balance. But I want you to be aware, this could be a trauma response, okay? Some of you may have been in that kind of fight or flight mode. There's some sort of fear with this moon card energy, and I feel like you're also trying to override that fear in order to romance your life a little bit more. And also I'm being given this energy of facing fears. So some of you may have even felt, you know what, if you are afraid of heights, for example, you may have decided that you want to climb a very large hill or mountain, for example, or go across a very high bridge. I see a lot of you really trying to address certain things that have kept you locked in a stationary position in order to set yourself free. And the universe is rewarding you for that level of courage. Now, of course, the 10 of Cups, I feel deep down, the true thing that you really want is that your family and friends are happy, healthy, and, you know, just getting the best out of life. but do not forget yourself in this, okay? I feel some of you overgivers, I feel like you are always making sure that everybody is okay. There is a level of responsibility for you, and I feel it's very important to recognize that, of course, always be there for a person, but do not forget about yourself, and also recognize that you don't always have to be there to, pick up the slack. You don't always have to be there to be the strong person for people to always rely on. Sometimes you can take a breath, and that's what I feel for your reading right now. Now, the Ten of Cups being in your protagonist energy, it can indicate that, the most important thing to you right now is the simple things in life, connecting to the people that you really care about, focusing on the simplicity of the everyday circumstances. And that's truly important because, of course, that brings you a sense of presence. And I feel a lot of you are trying to live in the present moment. And with that Four of Cups, there is an energy here of, for some of you, you may be trying to overcome, and this may not resonate with everyone, of course, but there's someone in your energy that you considered a part of your soul tribe or your family who has underestimated you, okay? It feels very much like this person maybe was never supportive, or they didn't support your dreams, or there's someone who perhaps was afraid for you to go for something, and their fear kind of like projected onto you, and it's almost like they tried to dissuade you or discourage you from something, and I feel there's a little bit of regret there. For some of you, you're actually going to have a conversation with that person if they're still on the earthly plane, and they want to express how proud they are of you, of pushing on through and doing what you wanted to do for you, because I see you being very independent. That's coming through very strongly. But some of you may be trying to reconcile an experience that you had where you felt really like disappointed in somebody or something, and you're so over their behavior. Even though you love this person, I feel like you're trying to empower yourself in order to make sure it never affects you again. I would say, of course, that's a healthy energy to be in, but do not allow this experience to harden your heart. There's a lot of love here. When there's cups, it indicates there's so much unconditional love, but I feel sometimes we need to manage our expectations of other people, because just because you have a beautiful heart and you're so loving and giving and caring, sometimes people, they just don't have that capacity to match your vibration, okay? And we have to sometimes acknowledge where a person is at in their life and accept people as they are, but we must also place them where they belong in our lives in accordance with their energy that they are presenting to us. So I feel some of you are really wrestling with that right now. Now also, when you get the Four of Cups energy, it can indicate that, you just want to be happy, okay? With that Ten of Cups, it's like you just want to be happy, and, but you can't ignore something that is gnawing away at you right now. And I feel like this is a period to address it. Some of you, with that withdrawal energy, you're looking at solitariness itself, looking at loneliness, looking at this sense of wanting to connect to people who really invest in relationships. Some of you may actually have chosen a path that feels quite isolating sometimes. And although you enjoy your own company, you actually are very strong because you've chosen a path that most people may shy away from sometimes. And I feel there will be really incredible rewards that come towards you. New people coming into your life, opportunities coming into your life, money coming into your life, and love. For some of you, love is a big deal, okay? All of us, love is a big deal, right? It's really important. Love is the answer to the universe of, it's like the equation of the universe is love. But what I'm being given, if you're not in a high-level commitment right now, some of you have been searching for love. I see here that there is love coming in, a soulmate coming in for you. So do not despair if doesn't matter about the age either. I want you to be aware of that. Emperor energy or Empress energy can indicate that sometimes people feel they've got to a certain age and maybe they should just put their hopes and dreams of love on the back burner because they feel they're never going to find love, but that's not true at all. I see you attracting a divine counterpart, and I see that it's almost going to be like first love. No baggage, but it's also a love that is kind and emotionally available, as well as mature enough to want to take the journey of life and love with each other. So if you are looking for a soulmate, I definitely see that you are going to meet this person connected to your true life's calling and mission. So if you're called to go to an event or follow a certain path, a career, or if you're retired, for example, you have a calling to go to a certain country, or, expand your reach when it comes to your environment, go outside your usual parameters, then listen to the calling, because your guides are trying to bring you to a place or an event or a situation where you will meet the person that you're meant to be with. Remember, they are also on a timeline, and they must come towards a sort of a midway point to meet you. And both parties need to listen to their guides before they actually get the message and find themselves winding up in the same place to meet. So I see you're on course to meet someone new if you're looking for love. This reading's not about love, but I want you to be aware of it because it's popped up in the energy. And some of you are in a high-level commitment. Some of you are in a marriage, and you feel with that Four of Cups that sometimes you feel that this person doesn't see you truly, okay? Now, of course, we must learn how to articulate our feelings to have our needs met. And sometimes in relationships, especially when we know each other for a long time, almost to the point where we start to read each other's minds, the relationship and the love goes really deep. But we must not assume that they really understand what we're going through, because sometimes the other person's going through something as well. We all have hopes and fears, and they arise at different times. So you may be going through something and your partner is also going through something in their mind, and you need to have your needs met and vice versa. So I feel both of you, there's a lot of love here. So if there is something that has cause some sort of disagreement or conflict, I see you finding a resolution to this, and I feel this person is going to remind you of all the reasons you fell in love with this person, okay? There's an energy where this person wants to propose either some sort of trip or even a renewal of vows. This person, I feel, they want to keep things fresh, okay? That's what I'm seeing here. And if you have been going through some sort of conflict in the family, even if you're not in a high-level commitment and you've been going through some sort of difficult moment, I feel there is a very strong, open conversation about accountability, and I feel there's a togetherness here, okay? So I feel like, there is some sort of olive branch in the future if you're hoping to hear from a person that you are separate from right now. And with a lot of respect, I'm going to move away from that sort of love energy that's coming through there. But the Four of Cups basically asks what else, because it feels very much that some of you, either you've been disappointed in some way, or you feel that life has got to a very sort of same position where, it's the same old thing, just a different day. And I feel like you're trying to keep things fresh in general. You want more excitement, more spontaneity. And I feel some of you, you're trying to be hopeful, but sometimes, and for some of you, not all of you, I want to address it because it is there. When you have the Four of Cups, as you can see, this person, they're like laying on the floor there. For some of you, there may be some sort of numbing of feelings going on here. So this could transfer as some of you are knowing that you need to address something and you feel, I can't deal with that right now, got to do life. Or some of you could be using substances, for example, to just numb a part of your life that you feel a little bit exhausted about or just fed up with. And I feel like this is a time where you go through a period of really seeing it. You've got the darkness card on purpose, which means you are very much aware of something that you need to face right now. So whether it is an experience that you had in the past, remember the past, it's a very important thing, of course. It happened and it shaped who you are, but it must not define us. It must inform us and help us to learn from it, but it no longer exists. It's an illusion. It happened. It's a memory in your mind. And, this is where we can detach from those experiences. And whilst they are very important because they do influence how we operate in life in general, we must not allow it to rob power from us. And I feel this is you taking back your power from some previous experience, because the Six of Cups tells me there's something from your past that replays sometimes, and it has the power to drain you or put a negative kind of energy into your mind. And I feel like you are in a very cathartic experience where you've endured something that has been hard and you're growing from it. And now it's like you stand alone in this energy. It no longer has any power over you. So with a lot of love and respect, whatever it is that you've been going through, I'm sending you so many positive vibes. I see a positive shift here, and I see so many good things coming for you, and some good karma. So the next card we have here is Endurance Rock. And I feel like you are someone who is a very good friend. You know, you're always there for people. And I feel like you are noticing reciprocity right now. Not that you're wondering who's there for you, because of course we all have things going on in our life. And we have to acknowledge that sometimes people have got something going on where we are not aware of, and they may not be able to give to a situation. You know, for example, those friends that you haven't seen for ages or talked to, and suddenly you come into a room together and it's like you never left each other. It's like, oh my gosh, like the old days, you're talking, it's wild, you're thinking about the memories. There's just a natural affinity between you both. So it's like that, okay? We can dip in and out of each other's lives, of course, and we must acknowledge that someone else is going through something, and you've withdrawn right now. So I feel some of you are feeling this energy of like, who's reaching out to see how you are right now, okay? And I definitely see that there's a lot of people who really care about you, but I also see that at least two of them are going through something very intense right now as well. You may be aware of this, but I feel there's a coming together to talk about whatever it is you've been going through, and it really just kind of like lightens the load, okay? Sometimes when we get into a funk in life, which we do sometimes, of course, the natural kind of knee-jerk reaction is to withdraw, to go inwards. But that time is very positive because it helps us really focus on something, really process it, cathartic experience. But we must not spend all our time in a solitary energy, because that's when we can spiral into, a negativity there. So I feel like you're aware of that. Whoever I'm tapping into, this reading may not resonate with everyone, but I am being given this energy of invitations coming your way, and you getting out there and really spending good quality time with the people that you really care about, but also, most importantly, they really care about you, okay? Now, we do have rock endurance there. You're a strong person, one tough cookie. You've been through some stuff. And I feel like you're also feeling exhausted. You don't want to have to always be the strong person holding up the world, or the world that you live in. I feel, it's exhausting sometimes. And I feel like you've been powering on through, but you're stronger because of it, and you've learned a lot. And you can apply that to whatever it is you're going through right now. And people don't realize that sometimes we go through something that, unfortunately, is very difficult. And in the moment, we feel, why? Why are we going through these things? But later on, many years later, suddenly a situation may present itself, and then you know how to handle yourself and that situation based on the experiences that you had. And I feel a lot of you, you're the sort of person who you can pay it forward. Okay, so in time, you may write a book, for example, about your experiences and then pass it on to another generation. And as an exchange from the universe, you may even make money from that. For some of you, it could be a cathartic experience where you get your feelings out onto like a canvas, for example, and you exhibit your work, and someone comes to see that piece of work and is overwhelmed with emotion by looking at that piece of work and says, I know how they feel. I'm going through that. And it's like you change a person's life by noticing that they are in sync with what you went through when you had that cathartic experience and put all your feelings on a canvas. It allows you to realize that there is an interconnectedness between us all, and we all go through some things, even though they're different, and we respond differently to them. And I feel a lot of you, there is this energy of being empowered by your experiences rather than allowing those experiences to knock you down. Now, that song, it keeps playing, is a little bit distracting right now. So maybe you're going to hear this song in the next coming weeks or months. Listen out for it. It ties up with three opportunities. Now, I'm not talking about career opportunities. I'm talking about opportunities from the universe to really thrive, be happy, and be rewarded by the universe. So whatever it is you're asking for right now, because you have the Lover's card there and you have the Ten of Cups, it's like your heart is filling with joy for something that you're visualizing for your future. And with that Ten of Cups, a lot of you are visualizing it like you have it right now. And that's really positive, okay? Because that means that the universe is going to speed track it to you quicker than if you just said, oh, I would like this, okay? So I do see that something you've worked really hard for or wanted for a long time is going to have a final breakthrough for you. And for a lot of you, this could be a personal development thing that you've been working on. So if you're trying to change yourself, body, mind, and soul in some way, there's a major breakthrough going on here. And I feel like you have endured a lot, but you've been asked to look for the groundedness in chaotic situations. I feel a lot of you, there is a slow and steady approach to the way that you are headed right now, and there is success as a reward at the end of it. I also feel like sometimes the obstacle is actually through it. That's why you got the darkness card there. Sometimes you got to push on through. You cannot ignore this, whatever this is. The Four of Cups says you cannot keep ignoring a situation. You have to address it, otherwise it will continue. So if there is a person, for example, who is trying to push your buttons and get, some sort of knee-jerk reaction from you, and you don't nip it in the bud, it will keep happening until that person is, shown that you have a higher boundary, or you articulate how you feel about the circumstance. The same with relationships. If you tend to gravitate towards a certain type of person and they end up hurting you, or they are unhealed and they are locked in an unhealed response, and it becomes a pattern in your life, then you cannot ignore this. It's time to address this in order to break the cycle, to break on through. And I feel a lot of you are breaking cycles right now, even generational wounding. I feel like a lot of you are really like breaking on through, and you've been given the difficult task to do it. But we are never given something unless we are strong enough to take it and to move through it and conquer it. And I feel like that's what you're doing right now. Now also, I feel because you have the Four of Cups and the Rock card, I would say do not be discouraged by slow progression right now, because progression is being made, okay? And you are going to see evidence of that. I feel, as I said, a portal is opening up for a smoother ride in life a little bit later on. And whatever it is you've been going through, with that Page of Pentacles, I feel there is an energy of you making so much effort, applying yourself to every situation, and now the reward is coming through for you. Now, of course, some of you, this card could represent a new job or new money. It could also be a raise or some sort of promotion. For a lot of you, it could also be that you meet a new person who becomes a really loyal friend in your life. I'm also being given here that some of you may have been dealing with a problem, or a person who likes to cause problems. For some of you, this could be a child that you're worried about. It could be that, there's been some difficulty or conflict there. It could be growing pains. They're trying to work out who they are, what they want in life. Don't worry. I feel this person, they are going to find their way. And as they mature, I definitely see that they will reflect on these difficult times and know that, they were a little bit hard on you, okay? And I feel like you're guiding them as best way you know how. And you're offering just so much love, care, and a sense of security that they can come to you if they need to. But sometimes people don't see what is right in front of their face at the time because they're going through an inner world experience. Now, this is coming out a lot in your reading, so I'm not really sure why, but obviously someone out there is going through this, and it's about acknowledging that, a lot of the time we all live in our heads, okay? Of course, we perceive the world around us, but we have an inner dialogue, and I feel it's important to recognize that we all have that. So even though you're walking down the sidewalk with a million thoughts a mile a minute of all the things that you need to do, what a person said to you a couple of years ago, what you're going to buy for dinner tomorrow, all of those things, the person walking past you is also having that inner conversation. And I feel compassion, of course, is the key. You have so many cards of compassion here. You're a very compassionate soul. You always offer all of yourself. Now is the time for reciprocity, and a little bit more time for you is what I'm being given there as well. Also, a lot of you maybe thinking about embracing some sort of learning. Of course, life is the university of learning, of course, so I feel like you have gone through the school of life, as it were, but I also feel here that some of you may be embracing some sort of learning or some sort of study, and it could be personal development study, because the Ten of Cups is like how to enrich your soul. You're doing a lot of soul searching right now, and here you will find many people who will become friends of yours, but there is one person in particular who becomes a very close confidant to you in the future. And for some of you, this may even be a place where you meet a soulmate if you're looking for love, of course. Now, with the Page of Pentacles there and the Hierophant, some of you are a little bit worried about finances, but I definitely see there's some sort of new money coming into your world. This could be increases in like interest rates, for example, on your savings. This could be a bonus, could be an increase in a pension, for example. Could also be that, you know, an acquisition raises in price in some way, or some sort of like financial thing that you're connected to will be very lucrative. Also, for some of you, it could be that you're changing direction right now. If you're in a career, you could be thinking about doing new things that are outside your usual parameters, because I feel a very explorative energy about you right now. And if you're not in a career, for example, it could be that you want to explore different countries. You want to see the world in a different way. A lot of the energy is drawing me to Norway right now. So I'm not really sure why. Maybe some of you have like planned that you're going to go to Norway. So please take it as it resonates. But I mean, I'm just being given like the North way as well. So maybe that's relevant. I'm just going to disconnect from that energy. Now, with the Hierophant there, and it is in the resistance position, all these cards are in the resistance position until, of course, the end of the period that I'm reading for, which is the 6 weeks period, which means it goes in the upright. A lot of you feel that you mistrust authority, okay? You're keeping a close eye on what's going on in the world, and I feel a lot of you are preparing for hard times, okay? So you may be preparing for a difficult period, or some sort of event, or, I mean, it's very prudent to do that. I feel like you're in a really secure position. You've got the Emperor there, which means you're a very wise person who basically keeps an eye on things and protects everything that you work for. Also, you're very protective over your family. Even though the Emperor is a masculine energy, this is not a gender-specific reading. It's about the energy that you're tapping into. So I feel like you're in a period of doing all that you can for the circumstances that you've got right now, and you're doing an awesome job. There's a lot of guides around you, and I'm being given that they're so proud of your choices right now, and your future self is going to thank you for everything that you're implementing in your life right now. Even if you're going through a very difficult experience, I feel like you're going to power on through, and there really is a light at the end of your tunnel, okay? Now, the Hierophant also indicates some of you may have had a really testing time where it caused a test of faith in some way. I feel like you're reestablishing your belief system. I feel like you are trying to eradicate negative experiences, people, situations in your life. I do apologize if you can hear that very low flying plane. I don't know how I found myself in a flight path, but I have. And the planes just keep getting lower and lower and lower. Maybe they're going to drop in for tea sometime. I don't know. But let's move on from that energy. Your final outcome energy is expansion. Okay, so expanding your horizons. You know, we all go through growing pains at different stages in our life. You know, you could be 85 and think, you know what, I want new things. I want to go and explore a different country. I want to get out of my neighborhood. I want to sell my home. I want to go off on a big adventure. I want to, I don't know, do a bungee jump, whatever it is. I feel like you're called to do new things. Even if you're like 27 and you've been in a job for a long time and you're like, you know what, I want to explore my options. I feel like you're being very clever researching whatever it is that you want to connect to and see if you're interested in that path. And you know, you're never too old or too young to change your mind or do something that is outside the usual parameters of what society says is the norm. So some of you could be working in different ways. You could be wanting to be more nomadic. You want to live off grid. You may want to, work in a different country or live in a different country or learn a language or just do something that is not the familiar is what I'm being given here. Because I feel like you're kind of a little bit fed up of the familiar with that Four of Cups there. There's something here that's a little bit dissatisfying. And sometimes, and this may not resonate with everyone, of course, but especially when we get comfortable in life and we feel like we are really grateful for what we've got, okay, we start to get a little bit like stuck in a rut. We feel, okay, we're comfortable. So what else? Okay, as humans, we always want to progress. Now, I'm not saying greed. I'm not saying we want more and more and more. There are some people in our world who unfortunately do live like that, and I don't see that in this reading. But what I do see here is you want to be enriched. You want to be fulfilled. You want to be emotionally fulfilled as well, and feel this sense of purpose and knowingness that what you're doing is making an impact in the people that you care about's lives, but also in life in general. And I feel you're in search of something other, that missing piece at this moment in time. And we all get to that stage, and I feel like you're about to discover it, okay? Now, this card, very important. This card is, of course, a card of exploration. It is a card of expanding your usual reach in life, and as you can see, the waters are calm. So right now, it is a very good time for you to explore your options. But also, I feel like you're being guided. And a lot of you are being guided to do your research on what truly makes you happy, what's truly important to you at this time, what really fulfills you. And deep down, you know. Okay, because the answer is always within you. It doesn't lie in this reading. It doesn't lie in someone else. It doesn't lie in your friends. It doesn't lie in your family. It lies within you. But you need to tap into that. And that's why we need to go through that period of darkness and stillness in order to hear the wisdom. Okay, so a lot of you connecting to your higher self at this time. This is a card to be brave and bold about the next steps that you are taking in your life. Everyone has more than one purpose in life, not just a single one, and it's time for adventure. So I feel even if you're staying where you're at right now, if you're staying in the same house or same job or same neighborhood, I feel like you're looking for alternative experiences. These could be different events. These could be different festivals, could be different types of people, different types of living. So whatever it is, I feel like you're looking for new right now, and it's a very exciting path that will expand not just your experiences and your mind, of course, but also the people who are about to enter into your life. Now, we do have a Six of Cups. We also have the Emperor energy. I definitely see that with the Emperor and the Six of Cups, a lot of you are processing something from childhood, okay? Generational wounding. With that Emperor energy, I feel it's almost like if you could go back in time to your younger self and you could let them know it's going to be okay. You're really strong. You've turned out to be a very beautiful person with a wonderful soul. And yeah, you're going to go through some tough times, but you're tough enough to take those times. Remember, tough times don't last. Tough people do. And I definitely see here that if you could go back to your younger self, you would be the person that you always wanted there to let you know that you're safe to explore life, to go out there and do whatever it is you feel is right for you and your beautiful heart. Because all of these cups indicate you're following your heart. Ultimately, at the core of it, your compass is your heart. It's your gut instinct. So with the Emperor here, I feel as you mature, there is this sense of wanting to rediscover purpose. And remember, we all have more than one purpose. It's okay to change direction. It's also okay to explore lots of different directions all at the same time. Just don't burn yourself out, because I feel a lot of you are very exhausted there. Now, the Emperor energy can also connect to this sense of responsibility. And sometimes it weighs us down. Now, of course, we've got to do the things that society deem that we've got to do, right? Pay the bills, make sure that we are living according to certain rules and regulations and all of those things, right? But also we can still have fun. We can still enjoy ourselves and tap into that playful side. And I feel a lot of you, life got pretty serious over the last couple of years. And now you're trying to reconnect to that playful side of yourself, to be open-hearted and not allow yourself to be hardened by the experiences, especially the last couple of years that we've had in terms of humanity. It kind of, even though everybody's back to doing their own thing, it kind of put an experience in our heart where we feel, sometimes we question, is it safe enough to do this? Is it okay for me to do that? I'm just going to go and do that, but what if that happens again? What if we re-experience these things? And I have to address it because it's in your energy. So some of you, it may raise in your mind from time to time, because remember, that was a traumatic experience for so many people. And I feel it's in our energetic makeup now because it occurred. And although it may not be something that's on your mind, it may sometimes influence how you feel about things or, give a triggered response. So I feel it's almost like, and don't shoot the messenger, this may not resonate with everyone. What I'm being given in your energy, it's like part of you is on autopilot. The things that you really loved before don't feel the same way in some way, and you're not sure why. Is it because you had a radical kind of like tower moment in this experience, which we all did, of course, and it's now kind of made you really value the simplicity of relationships, interconnectedness, the people that you really care about, but also has triggered a fear? So it feels like, well, those fun things, they just don't feel like fun anymore. Or it's that, you know, there is a different authentic you that sees things differently. It's almost like you grew up really fast. I think we all did to some degree. And I feel that in your energy. But there is a return to those happier times. There is a return to so much fun and joy and laughter. So, of course, not every one of you out there is feeling that way. I have to acknowledge the energy has popped up there, so I have to address it. But if you are feeling that way, know that I see you going through this difficult, dark period in order to rediscover that part of yourself, in order to reconnect to the fun things that you love doing and get out there and show the world your bright and sparkly energy, because you may have lost your sparkle at some point during this period, and now it's the period to rediscover. But we cannot do that unless we go through that darkness to get to the light, if that makes sense. Now, that Six of Cups reminds you that there are better times ahead. And this is a period of nostalgia as well. So I feel there is something here that you yearn to return to, something that feels like it is part of your heart and your soul. I mean, for some of you, it could be a person. Okay, it could be a friend, could be an experience, could be a job, could be an environment. I see some of you revisiting. So even I see a road trip right now for some of you, like a trip down memory lane energy. So some of you may even return to a place that has special memories for you. And this is going to give you this sense of freedom and sense of like excitement and adventure. It almost like reminds you a little bit of who you really are and how much power you have. That Emperor energy tells me that you're more powerful than you give yourself credit for. And this is a time to not play small in life. Be your wonderful self. And with that Six of Cups, you know, this often means the universe is stepping in to offer you something. So this is the second thing that the universe is going to offer you. Okay, I say second because this is the first. The Four of Cups is always an indication that the universe is going to step in and send you a moment of happiness, an opportunity that brings great joy. Just when you're feeling that you are out, or that you're exhausted, or that you're disappointed, or that you have no energy anymore and you're fed up with things, suddenly the universe steps in and says, I haven't forgotten about you. Here's an opportunity. This will bring you intense joy. It is way better in experiences than anything you've had before. So I see that as your first offering from the universe. This is your second, okay? And I feel this is something that is actually going to remind you of that playful side of yourself. It gives you an opportunity to go deeper and be more intimate with yourself so you know yourself fully. And I also see with the Lover's card, this is the third thing, because at grassroots, the Lover's card is actually you attracting what's in your heart. Okay, if there is fear in your heart, you will attract more circumstances to be fearful for. Easier said than done, I know, and that's why you're being very careful about what you digest, body, mind, and soul. What you listen to, what you take in as like some sort of beverage or food, what you absorb with your eyes, you know, all of those things, they can be changing your energy, and I feel like you're trying to limit anything that drains your energy or really tears you down. And that includes inner thoughts. It's almost like you don't want to think. You want to like live and be and exist in the present moment. And I see that happening. And I feel that you are going through a major transformation and you're going to be really empowered because of it. The Lover's card indicates, you know, more love and joy and happiness in your heart. The more you will attract opportunities for those experiences and people to come into your life. There is something here you're manifesting, and it's like you've got it right now, okay? So it's in your visualizations, you've got it right now. So whether that's a person, money, experiences, whatever it is for you, because it's going to be different for everyone, you shall have it, okay? Now, of course, the Lover's card indicates that you always have a head over heart moment, okay? And right now, you may be choosing responsibility over fun, laughter, joy. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you're not having fun and having joyful moments. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I feel there is an energy here where you're having to choose between things. But remember, you're a Libran. Balance. Variety is the spice of life. You can have it all, and you will have it all, is what I see there as well. And friendships take a turn in the future where I feel they reinvest in you the way that you invest in them. And I feel some of you may even reconnect with people that you used to know. So I feel there's an energy of either a reunion, an invitation for a reunion at some point, or as I said, this trip down memory lane. You may even hear like a surprise message from a person that you haven't heard from in a long time. Somehow they get in touch with you. They may not even have your number because you may have changed your number, or this may have been even before mobile phone numbers. That's how old I am. You know, I remember that time where people weren't like completely absorbed in their mobile phones to the point where they bumped into things. So I feel this is about you kind of like detaching from those things. And I feel this person, they find you because they really remember great times with you and they want to reconnect. So that's coming out there as well. And of course, if you grew up in a generation where, you know, cell phones are important, and I see a person connecting to you via social media and like basically wanting to meet up, okay? And I feel you form a very deep, solid friendship even further from there. Now, we've also got that Lovers card, of course. So this is you asking, what do you attract in life right now, okay? And you may be noticing the more positive you are, the more positive things that come. But we're all human, and sometimes we have fears, and sometimes there's negativity, and sometimes we get frustrated. Sometimes we get annoyed if someone cuts us up on the freeway. You know, it's all about experiences. But we must remember that only we can give permission to somebody to change our energy, okay? Someone can do something and it can frustrate us, but we can make sure that we have healthy boundaries and say, no, that person and that experience is not going to change how I feel about my life or how I feel about my day. So I feel a lot of you are taking back that power and noticing what or who pushes your buttons, and I feel like you're trying to reprogram in some way. And I feel you're going to just manage your stress levels. And again, it's easier said than done, of course, because sometimes there are some people out there who are really negligent in the way that they deal with other people. So I feel, you know, sometimes it's really hard to proceed with the higher ground, right? But I feel like you are someone who basically is very close to managing that frequency. Now, we've also got the Fool card. This is to have more fun. There's so much potential here for you. Again, the Fool card can connect to childhood. So we see a lot of you, you know, really processing something from childhood and having more confidence. It's almost like I get an energy from your reading. If you knew then what you know now, you may have been a little bit more wild. But now is your time to re-wild yourself. And this is a time to explore. I see new adventures opening up for you. To have the expansion card and the Fool card tells me there's a lot of joy ahead, a lot of exciting moments and new beginnings. But also the Fool card is you tapping into that playful, fun side. You know, no matter how old you are, you're still that young, bright spark inside, okay? And I feel like you are connecting to your heart fully, and I feel there is a childlike curiosity that you're really reconnecting to, and that's very positive because it reminds you of your sparkle. I'm not sure who said it. There is a famous quote that's coming up, and I'm probably going to get it wrong because I'm only being given the energy of it. I'm not seeing it in the water as I'm scrying, but it's like a true feat of life is not allowing your childlike wonder to disappear as you start to get older and have more responsibility. So I feel retaining that kind of curiosity about the world and that openness, even though the world sometimes is a harsh place. I feel there is so many good things coming towards you, and I feel there's so many opportunities that you've been manifesting that will bring you intense joy, but also I feel like you've been on a very deep learning curve right now, and that's why things got a little bit bumpy there for you for a while. But I see that things are going to get easier, and you are supported fully by the universe. So if you're about to take a leap of faith in some area of your life, that card tells me that you have a plan. That card tells me that you're grounded in that plan, that you have researched that plan, and that you're about to move forward on that plan, and you are supported, and that you're going to have a lot of fun along the way on that, okay? So I'm just going to go get some final cards before I close your reading. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Librans? What do they need to know? And we have there. Now we have going in style. Okay, going in style. So this, of course, indicates that you are having a glow up. It could be a physical glow up as well there, but I feel this is about you, you know, ascending. And it says here, little luxuries help you build up to greater things later. Treat yourself. Remember, I said, do not forget about yourself there. So if you do have a moment to treat yourself, doesn't always have to be financial in nature. Treat yourself to a walk in a park. Treat yourself to a good book. Cozy up, you know, with that favorite movie that you have. Maybe even like connect to friends, as I said, that you haven't seen for a long time. Maybe go to a market and discover new little gadgets and flowers and mirrors and like whatever it is you're interested in. So I feel this is a time of, as I said, romancing your life, and that's going to help with your vibrations, but also infinitely move you forward. And there is progress here. Whenever you get a chariot or carriage, it means there's going to be movement and improvement in your life. We've also got leadership role. Now, of course, you've got the Emperor there. So this is like taking charge of your life, okay? Sometimes we go through life, and when there is a pattern, a cycle of repeat, it feels like we're existing. Okay, and now it's about living. So I feel this is about you really opening yourself up to new experiences and taking charge of your life. So we've got that leadership role. You're called to step up and be the authority, position of power. Okay, I feel a lot of you actually grew up quite quickly when you were younger and may have had responsibility on your shoulders from a very young age. And you may have felt that to some degree, you didn't really get like that playful childhood that perhaps you wanted. Now that may not resonate with everyone, I have to acknowledge that, but if that's you, I see you tapping into that right now and getting so much joy right now and almost like reliving it, but now in your adult body. Okay, now of course if you're in a career, this indicates some sort of promotion coming in. Some of you may be actually thinking about a new direction in your career as well, and actually you're going to staircase quite quickly and move up the ladder really fast. A position of authority and power there. If you're offered a leadership role and you're doubting yourself, or you feel that, you know, you're just a little bit anxious about stepping into that position, you know, you are someone who has a lot of knowledge, both acquired knowledge, but also, you know, you have natural abilities. So remember, you're more empowered and more powerful than you think. We've also got bountiful career. Interesting, 2 career cards came out here, which is not the norm in this deck, okay? There's lots of different cards that you could have got. It says here commitment, commitment to things, abundance coming your way, personal power. All of those cards are there, but obviously whoever needs to hear this, you know, I want you to be aware that this is about things being ripe right now. There's no time like the present, okay? So if we like remove ourselves from the fact that it says career, the pumpkin, this period, you know, as we reach like Samhain and Halloween, of course, and agriculturally, this is pumpkin season, right? So, of course, depending on where you are in the world, but I would say that there's no time like the present. The time is now. It's ripe for the picking. And I feel on a personal level, it says, keep growing in knowledge and plant your ideas, convert seeds to profits. So I did mention that some of you could write a book about your experiences, or maybe even a course of learning regarding what you've experienced in life, or maybe what you did when you had a career if you're retired, and this could bring in more money there. But I feel this is about you taking charge of your life, moving forward, and actually, you know, living a fulfilling life and just feeling that life is full, you know, full of the most important things, like people that you really care about and experiences. And, you know, so we can't take money with us. So, you know, it's all about the experience. And I feel right now you're doing a lot of soul searching about that. Okay. Very intense reading. It's definitely not going to resonate with everybody there, but I have to honor whatever comes out. The cards, I can't choose in there. So we have the apple, which of course connects to healthier choices. For some of you, you know, the apple can connect to a place, perhaps. But I did say just a moment ago, my guide said, ripe for the picking, ripe for the picking. So I did say that, and the apple can also symbolize that the time is now. Also, it can indicate that you look at what tempts you, you know, to slip into a negativity or to bring down your vibration. We've also got a fish. Okay, now the fish tends to be about you being in the flow of life, but also fish always pops up on a page of cups, so that basically means following your bliss, okay, but also a reminder to be open-hearted, and you know, it's about you getting really intimate with yourself, to know who you are, know what you want, what you don't want in life, what you are accepting right now, what is not acceptable. And also it's about all adventures will lead you to where you need to be, okay. And I just heard as well, you will love again. So if some of you are struggling with love, or if you're single, for example, you will love again. Okay, that just came out there. And finally, we've got the swan. Now, swans, I love swans. They're so graceful, but they're also so protective, and they can really mess you up if you get in their domain. So I feel like you lead with peace, but you also have this energy of protectiveness over the people that you really care about. I also feel you work hard for the life that you're sustaining right now, and maybe nobody can see that. You know, when you think about the swans gracefully gliding across the pond, their little legs are going a mile a minute, steering them across the water. So no one sees your struggle. Okay, they see your successes, and they may want a piece of the pie when you're at that success table, but you're asking yourself right now, who deserves a place at your success table? And I feel that you are blossoming right now. And of course, in order to go through that blossoming, we have to go through something difficult first. I feel like you're on the precipice of change here. Things are going to get infinitely better. So I'll leave it there, my beautiful Librans. I hope something resonates in that reading for someone out there. And if it does, please like or subscribe to my channel. Completely free for you. All you have to do is press that little notification bell. Lets you know when I update my next message. Lets me know that you resonate with the reading, which is so important for me too. Thank you so much, my beautiful Librans, and love and light.